Congressman, I heard all the talk about the crisis. I'm just wondering if you could sort of illuminate for me exactly the crisis as you define it. Is it that so many people are coming? Is it that we don't have a humanitarian way to handle them once they get here? What is the crisis that you're trying to solve?
Well, you have two big problems, all right? One is you had a change in presidential policy come midnight January 20th. You had 150 miles of a wall to be built here with 133 miles of that already built. So now with that stopping, you have these big gaps. You took down the old border wall within ranchers and others. You got a real problem. Talking to the border agencies, we had built a new facility here to treat people when they were picked up. We built it to a capacity we'd never thought we'd meet of 1,040. It just broke the record today, full capacity. 120 of those border agents have to be off protecting the border in there to care.
So we're in the middle of a crisis that we don't have enough wall to keep people out, or is the crisis that there's so many people coming that we can't handle it regardless?
The crisis is the presidential policy change, taking away the PACER, taking away the asylum, staying within Mexico to come over. And the first thing the president said that he was going to make 11 million people legal. When we sat and talked to a family from Honduras, we asked them how long they've been trekking. 22 days. Why was it 22 days? Because 30 days ago they heard President Biden say something that they thought now was the time. If you ask to the border agents, they'll tell you they haven't seen the amount of fentanyl coming across they are today. Those who are on the terror list they haven't seen in the past. So they're stretched thinner than ever before because of what's rushing. And the number of unaccompanied children, never before.
So when Speaker Pelosi and other Democrats say this was an inherited problem, I imagine you don't agree.
I don't think anybody in America agrees. That's a total political spin. And what they really should understand is what they're doing is harming people's lives. From the children that are coming up, who knows what they're trafficking. And you're in the middle of COVID.
But the children are trafficking?
The children are being, who knows what's happening to the children that are coming across. When you speak to the border agent who looked me in the eye and told me the story of a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 5-year-old holding hands and nobody else around. Would you send a child across land like that? Would you risk something such as that? Who knows what happens to them?
So what should happen to those kids when they show up here? Should they be sent to wait in Mexico? Should they be sent back to their home country? I think that's the challenge now, right?
No, the real challenge is why give the incentive for them to come here? You're risking their lives by doing that. Why wouldn't you go back to certain policies that worked, that solved the problem?
I understand that, but the theoretical future children, that's one thing. But for the kids who are here now, what's the solution for those people who are showing up now, who are in those border patrol stations? I mean, should they be sent to wait in Mexico? What do you do with the people who are here now?
I think you want to bring them back. You got Title 42 when you're able to catch somebody coming across, you send them back into Mexico. The problem is that isn't the only people who are coming. So there's certain areas of Mexico they're not taking them back. There's certain countries, the Haitians, they're not taking them back. And that becomes a real problem in the world of COVID. Are we treating them properly? Yes, they are. But what happened was, why are they all coming now? The incentive. So if you don't change the incentive of the new presidential policies, this is only going to get larger next month and the month after. So we know how to care for people that are here, but the problem is if you don't do some action different, you're overwhelmed like we are now.
So what's the fix? Should the Biden administration just go back to the same Trump administration policies, Title 42, remain in Mexico? Is that
Title 42 is still going. He removed PACER, which he should go back to the agreements when it comes to the central countries down there about looking for asylum there before you come to America. The first thing he should say is acknowledge he created a crisis and do something to change it. The second thing he should do is actually come here and see what was created. And the third thing he should do is probably sit down with people on both sides of the aisle and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, Congress has never forthrightly addressed this issue in decades. I mean, essentially no matter who is in control.
But don't mix two different issues. Immigration's one thing, border security is another. And
border security is a presidential prerogative.
Yes.
Immigration is a legislative solution.
Exactly. So if the presidential prerogative was to create a crisis along the border, he should acknowledge it and solve it. I sent a letter as a Republican leader asking to sit down, to talk about it, to solve this problem going forward. I'm one who believes that immigration is broken, that we should have immigration reform. But you can't continue to create a border security problem because it's more than it just comes to the children. The people they are apprehending are on the terrorist watch list. The people that are coming across aren't just from Mexico or Honduras. They're from Yemen. They're from Iran, Sri Lanka, Turkey. Talk to the border agents. That's who the president should be talking to understand what he has done.
Last question, and I know I have to let you go, but I mean, just for the people who are already on their way, for the people who we know will come in March and April because they do every year, what should happen to those children who are making this trip?
Stop them before they get here, because how many children won't make the trip? How many children won't get reacquainted with their own parents? How many children are going to be used by the coyotes and others? Why don't we stop that before it starts? Thank you.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.